What up, YouTube? I am Sean Arona, and welcome back to Stuck in Love Films, where we are creative 100% of the time. If you're new here, hey. Today we're going to be talking about basically what to bring on a wedding day. Specifically what I bring to a wedding day. Now this is a bunch of stuff that I've accumulated over years and years and after saving money, so if you don't have all this, that's okay. You'll get there. You might even buy different kinds of cameras, different kinds of mics. Today I'm not going to go into the particulars of like cameras and lenses and stuff. I'm going to be going into, the stuff that you need to bring in your bag to kind of help you get you through the day. Stuff that's going to make your job as a filmmaker way easier. You get to see basically everything that I have. It's going to be good. So since the last time that I posted, I've done a few adjustments to my office, and I wanted to take you guys on a quick tour before we get started. Alright guys, so the first thing that you should probably know is I don't just have one camera bag. I bring 5 of them that each serve a different function to the event, and I use all of them throughout the day. So let's get started with my lens bag. Right, so let's open up my lens bag. Of course, you will see my assortment of lenses, but you also see that I make sure that one of my cameras, my main camera, is actually in the same bag as my lenses, because if for some reason you had to run somewhere and you could just grab one bag, you need to make sure that it has your camera in it as well as your lenses. That way you basically have everything visually covered. I have a lot of other things in here to make sure that this is the bag I would want to bring with me most places. Here is a pocket on the side where I actually keep my ND filters. So that way if I go outside in the bright sunlight, I can actually use these to open up my aperture without making it too bright outside. So if you're not familiar with ND filters, they're just basically sunglasses for your lens. I highly recommend getting some of these, especially ones that are variable ND filters, so that way you can actually change how much light is being let through. So in this compartment right here, I actually have anything to clean lenses with. I've got the little puffer, so you can blow dust off. We've got some glass cleaning solution. We have, this is a lens pen is what they call it. So that way you can actually use brushes to clean off the lenses, and instead of putting any kind of solution on it if you don't want to use a solution. I do use this a lot. I mostly use the puffer because the less you put on your lens, the more protected it is. I do use this from time to time, but I prefer using the puffer as much as possible because you don't want to put too much on the lenses if you can help it. And of course, some microfiber cloths so that you can wipe the lenses off with. Now for the top compartment, I actually have a little screwdriver. This is very useful. I use it all the time. This helps a lot when you're changing plates and mounts and stuff. And if you just really need to just like unscrew something, having a little one like this, sometimes I even stick it in my back pocket if I know I'm going to be using it a lot that day. I also have these. They are Rycoat stickies. I use them a lot for pinning lavalier mics onto grooms and other people. In this little compartment here, I actually have some extra small XLR cables that I use for the DJ And I also have some extra AA batteries. Alright guys, so the second bag is my sound bag. And this is where I keep a lot of my microphones for onboard camera mics. I have a couple of recorders that I use to plug into the DJ system to record speeches and ceremony and stuff like that. Always make sure that you have a pair of headphones in here so you can make sure that your connections are good. I actually have a compartment here where I keep some backup headphones because sometimes I forget to put my headphones in there because I actually use them. So make sure you always have a pair of shitty backup headphones if all else fails. This is also the home of my backup camera. By the way, always have a backup camera for like a number of reasons. One, it's kind of easy to like switch between two different camera systems. Say like you have like some on a tripod, you have one kind of like calibrated with the gimbal, and you don't want to like mess that up always because then you're gonna have to like rebalance everything. So that's one reason to have a backup camera. But the other reason is for like ceremony, if you know you want to have like a wide tripod shot and then you want to get some close-ups or roaming shots with the other camera, then you can do that and just kind of cut between it in post. It saved me a couple times because sometimes people will get in your way, or you'll move to the wrong spot, and you'll still have like a safety. That's very important to have a safety because a lot of the couples will want a full ceremony video, even if it's just for documentation purposes. So and also, if something were to happen, which hopefully it won't, to one of your cameras, you will have a backup camera and still be able to finish the job. In this little compartment here, I also have a microphone that I use to pin on the groom a lot of the time. So I keep my microphones in this bag. I also keep battery chargers in here for my camera batteries because even though you brought a bunch of batteries, sometimes you just use them all. So make sure that you have chargers with you, so that way if you've gone through half your batteries in a day, you can still charge some of them while you're using the others, and then by the end of the night, you still have batteries to use. I also have camera batteries in this side pocket over here. I also keep on the top some extra cables and some extra batteries. Can never have enough extra batteries. Alright, so this bag is actually kind of my grip bag, so I use this for a lot of, random stuff that I might need throughout the day. So in here, I actually have some tape. Sometimes you need to tape down some cables or kind of pin something up. You never know when you might need some tape. I also have a 10-foot XLR cable, just in case my smaller cables aren't enough, or so that way my device isn't like hanging off of like a speaker or something. And if your ceremony's outside, sometimes you might need a little dead cat to put on the tip of your Rode mic so that you can block out the wind. In the top portion here, this is where I keep my slider, which I use all the time to get very controlled dynamic shots. I also keep my gimbal in here for stabilizing some footage. This is actually my Steadicam backpack. The only thing I really keep in here is my glide cam, as well as the world's smallest slider. I actually use this sometimes. It's pretty awesome. If you are a very run and gun kind of person and you just want to take a little light tripod and a light slider, you can get a lot of really dynamic shots really quickly with this thing. The next thing I'm going to show you is actually something my girlfriend Tanner made for me. She came with me to a wedding one time in Charleston, South Carolina, and she watched as I, ran around and used all my equipment, but she was like, you have everything you need to film, but you don't have everything you need. So she actually went out of her way, was really thoughtful, and made this like emergency bag basically full of all kinds of helpful stuff. And let me show you that. So this is my emergency bag that Tanner made for me. In this compartment we have pens and notepads, just in case we need to take notes of something important that somebody said throughout the day. or if you're just jotting down like a change in the timeline, anything like that. So we've got some safety pins, and we've got some detergent wipes. These are definitely just in case you need to help someone with a wardrobe malfunction, and it does happen every now and then. In this top compartment, some of my business cards. Always good to have. You should actually have these in like all of your bags just in case someone asks for one. You never know who you're going to meet, and sometimes you get referrals. In this larger compartment, we have a first aid bag. In here we've got band-aids, we've got gauze, we've got Q-tips, you name it. We've got disinfectant. In this little spot, we've got a Swiss Army knife, some gauze. We've got some more tape. Like I said, you might need it. I also have some Benadryl because sometimes I have allergies. There was one wedding where I just had like a crazy allergy attack and I was just sneezing all day and I had to keep running to the bathroom to just get tissues. But like I made it through the day. I never stopped sneezing. By the end of the day, my eyes were like bloodshot and I could barely breathe through my nose or my mouth. So that was fun, but still got the job done. So yeah. Flashlight. I also keep this stuff in that bag because everybody's going to be very busy with what they're doing and making sure everything's perfect, and they're not going to always think about feeding you lunch, especially lunch. Make sure you have some protein bars and that you're freaking hydrated because sometimes it can get really hot. I also take 2 tripods with me, 1 monopod, and one of my favorite things ever, the shoulder rake. The last thing, which I almost forgot, was my drone bag. I take this with me pretty much every time. So in my drone bag, we have the Mavic Pro. That's the original. We have the remote control, which hooks up to my phone, and I use my phone as the screen. In here, we also have the spare battery for the drone. And we have the charger for the drone. So I know a lot of you think I'm just absolutely crazy and that's like way too much stuff to bring, but I promise I've used every single bit of that on certain wedding days and use most of it most of the time. It helps a lot to be prepared, so make sure that you have what you need when you go shoot a wedding, or for any kind of shoot for that matter. So that's it. That's everything that I bring with me to a wedding day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got something out of it. I will make sure that there are links in the description below to everything that you have seen in this video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you aren't already. And remember, it's not about the gear you have, it's about what you can do with it. I'll see you guys next time.